Alright, hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alley of Blood event is back up again. This match was very interesting. You'll see why as we go along. Kind of see what what we're up against. We're up against two wizards, a barb, and I think another barb. Hang on a minute, I missed that entire, well, let me see. I took the Executioner Glare. In all honesty, I would prefer not to. I'd rather take the Siege Tower weapons. Okay, so they had a barb, two wizards, and I can't tell if the other one was a barb or a crusader, but anyway. We got two blood knights, a demon hunter, and me. Now in this mode, we have only 6 pieces there, as you can see. The gems that we have slotted in the 6 pieces are whatever you put in your top 6 slots. I'm showing that, you know, there's 0 normal gems in whatsoever. The legendary gems, however, as you can see right there, they're 2 out of 5 star, but they're rank 10s. So if you have any of those slotted, those are going to help in this mode. And that's the unfortunate, I think, drawback, in all honesty, of this being the more friendly, you know, free-to-play game mode. Yeah, it's a little bit more balanced as far as that goes, but if you have, you know, all 5-star gems in those 6 slots, you're gonna get a rank 10, 2 out of 5 star in all those slots, so they're gonna hurt a lot more. All right, now I'm playing my. Well, I am short 2 essences because we only have 6 pieces on, so I don't quite get the full effect of my usual PvP build here. But still, nonetheless, I still make use of what I have in those 6 slots as best I can. Now, they had a wizard on the other side that was using, you know, the Lightning Nova tracker. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the chest piece of it. And that was applying dots to everybody, and they also had Viper Bite on. They had Wolf Heart, which interrupted healing, so that one made for a terrible time right there. Yeah. And they had some other dot gems too. Couple close calls here. Trying to stay up as long as you can, because the respawn timers are pretty fickle in this one. It all depends a lot of times on they tend to respawn you with the rest of your party, which is good in that sense, but it can be kind of terrible when you really need to get back in there, and say it's the first time you've gone down the entire match, and then next thing you know, you get a respawn timer of like 40 seconds or so, and it's like, wait a minute. So I'm not sure if it's a cumulative thing or not. I got really close there. Now, I will go ahead and pause and eventually a little bit here to show again which pieces I had on, which skills I was using, just for a general idea. Again, though, we don't have any normal gems slotted in this mode, and we're running max rank gems in the 6 slots that we have equipped. And there's the siege weapon. That's the one I would much rather prefer, but I always end up, unfortunately, seemingly having to take the Executioner Glare more often than not. And I make use of it as best I can, because that does apply dots and does a significant amount of damage if people get caught with it. The reflection always sucks whenever they use it on the glare, however. You never know, though. You don't know what they're going to bring. Alright, so Barbarian's kind of pushing in pretty heavy here, obviously, as they should.
Quadruple kill.
As far as this mode goes, however, there's still a lot of drawbacks. If you get paired against, and I've had this happen before, especially in this mode, if you get paired against, you know, 3 barbarians and a crusader, forget it. They're just going to undying and bubble on the towers, and it's game over pretty quickly at that point. And, you know, kudos to them for getting that kind of matchmaking set up for them, to have it pretty much almost handed to them. But that's one of the more nastier and quickest combinations for this single lane.
Septuple kill.
That's why it's called the alley. But it was a nice change of pace when they introduced this into the game for the Shadow Wars, as a change of pace from the, you know, just doing battlegrounds everywhere all the time. But it does have its definite drawbacks. It definitely does. Oh yeah, and they use this in the first couple matches of, well, Visual Blades. I was going to say Rite of Exile, but it technically is called Visual Blades. Alley of Blood, Visual Blades, same. Just on Visual Blades, however, all bets are off, and there's no removal of any kind of stats. And yeah, you're going in there with pretty much everything you got.
Nunapul kill.
So we had a person basically rage quit on our team here, and we've been running at 3 for a little bit now. So this is where things got a lot more interesting. Our back was against the wall for a little bit here. However, we started to push them back, and then they got longer respawn timers, which started to turn out into our favor. And that's why I kept trying to stay alive as long as I could, doing what I could, and not going down. Going down in this match format is pretty rough. It's pretty punishing.
Devastation.
And unfortunately, also in this mode, it's not that hard to get taken down. Well, I mean, it can be. All depending. Again, this is a support build. It's all about positioning and laying down the fields, and the firestorms definitely add up and help you get your crits. I think this is a good point where I can go ahead. I'm going to pause the video and talk about the build. Let's go ahead and go to the actual breakdown of it, which pieces that I have on anyway. All right, so here we go. The build that I have on for it, of course, is my usual. Again, like I said, the gems in this, however, are going to be max ranked. So this one would have been a 10 rank inside there, and it's a 2-star, so that's as high as they go anyway. My Seeping Bile that I have in there was only a rank 2 out of 5-star, and it was a max ranked of 10. So, like I said, again, it's the top 6 pieces here that I was running with while I was in there. So we got the slow time, helm, the radius increase for meteor shower, the meteor damage increase after casting meteor, the star caller breaches, which is a meteor shower, a straight up fire meteor shower. Doesn't stun, but it stays like a constant raining of fire down to get those firestorms. Good old Thistle Bloom, Unrepentant Gale for multiple extra charges for my Arcane Wind with the Thistle Bloom. And that's it. We don't even get these 2 at the bottom. So I'm missing out on obviously other things in the process of it because we're only running with 6 pieces in there. And that's that for that. And of course, the skills simply teleport, slow time, Arcane Wind, Meteor Shower. And I use Electrocute on PC only because my mouse sensitivity I like to keep extremely high. That's just my preference, but it can be kind of detrimental sometimes and be all over the place. I could tone it down, but it feels like Electrocute tracks players better on PC than Magic Missile, even though Magic Missile does do a lot more damage. And I would actually honestly prefer to use Magic Missile. But yeah. So anyway, let's get back to it again. And we'll continue on with this one because it turned out to be, honestly, this is literally quite the war of attrition, to say the least. And I do want to thank, because it hasn't happened yet, you'll see when it does. Oh, there it is, right there. You were appointed raid leader. I saw that message, I'm like, oh no, what happened? And I was like, oh, we had a disconnect. Or they just exited the game and didn't leave the party. Either way, we're down to 2. It's now 2 versus 4. And kudos, I want to give props obviously to the Blood Knight that hung in there with me this entire time and stayed with me this entire time. I can't stress that enough. I appreciate it. I appreciate the determination, the perseverance, everything, because this was like, it was 2v4. And they sacrificed themselves on the tower. They might have gotten taken out by the barb. I can't exactly tell. So I'm just trying to hang in there to... Well, then again, I would be exempt of... Oh, they're back. Okay, so yeah, I would have been somewhat exempt of helping there with their respawn timer because they went down and I didn't. But and then there's more of their dots from the enemy wizard again, trying to get us. Now, the whole point in taking out the Sacred Guardians all the time is, for one, the ones that you need to keep the towers at bay so you can actually damage them more always get hung up on the enemy's Sacred Guardians, which is irritating and which drags these out a lot more, I think. But that's just kind of how it is. And also, you want to get the fragments from the Sacred Guardians and players to build up your stats so you can do more damage and get stronger. That definitely helps in the later portion of these fights. Lots of shards to pick up. Now we're starting to really lay it in. Here comes the Guardian again. However, we're just trying to get this tower down. There we go. We got our first tower down finally with just 2 of us. Dealing with contention. Here comes the enemy again. They're healing up quick. They're dealing with... I'm not entirely sure. They could have pushed a little bit, but they chose not to. All right. That's 1 down. The barb is still up. There's another Sacred Guardian in the mix. It feels like a lot of times our Sacred Guardians don't spawn nearly fast enough as the enemy team. I don't think that's the case, but it feels like it, especially in this match here. Moving on to their second tower. Still pushing. At this point, I do think that they, of course, had a player on their side quit or disconnect or who knows what, because now I haven't seen them as often. I think it might have actually been down to 2 of us, or the game. I don't think the game would have actually adjusted that though. Yeah, no, there's still 2. There's the other one, the other wizard that had the fire beam, and they had, looks like, meteor ice shower. They would have put them down again. There's the barbarian still running around, and they still have the other lightning nova wizard. So it's, at this point, I think it's just the 2 wizards and the barbarian against us. But still, this one was pretty rough. A literal war of attrition. Perseverance paid off. And I got a lot of the achievements done in just 1 game. However, after doing this game, I was pretty much spent and exhausted. And I was like, I'm good for now, for a little bit. I'm going to take a break. And yeah, but I'm glad that I caught this on video and I wanted to talk about it and show it because, I don't know, it just shows that if, really, push and persevere and not give up. Yeah. And I tried to help them with putting down some orbs. I didn't want to take them all, but nice try. They did clip me a little bit with the hammer, but there we go. Back in it. Our Guardians hurting a little bit, but now we can finally start laying. Well, no, there's another Guardian up still, so we can't exactly do. Well, we can do damage to the crystal, but the enemy Guardian is giving us grief, and it seems like theirs hits ours harder still. It's like so irritating. And now I meant to try to go and stealth in the bushes there, but that helps. So then we can focus on the tower until the Guardian finally gets up here. But of course, one of their enemy Guardians spawns in. My cooldowns are not the greatest because I don't have the 8th piece on for that. All right, there's that. Grab that real quick. Take out that annoying Guardian so that ours can hurry up and get back up here so we can start damaging the tower some more. Or their crystal heart. Because without a Guardian on it, it doesn't do that much damage. And this is where I would really love to have the Tower Siege weapons instead of Executioner Glare. But here we go. Now we can actually start laying it in. Big difference on this one. And yeah, thank you very much to the Blood Knight in this match. If you happen to see this, I want to say thank you for staying in there as long as you did. I appreciate the commitment and the perseverance. That was, again, like I said, a definite war of attrition. For sure. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, in that one match alone, real quick before we wrap this up here, Alley of Blood. I got, 1 of 3 wins, obviously, and this is all I did so far. But I got all these other ones claimed in the process of that one match. So I'm good. The only thing I got left to do now for Alley of Blood, until... The thing about Alley of Blood that does still suck, though, is it will always stop at 34 of 44 in the event tab. The first go-around. And then the following week or whatever, right, like 2 days before it ends, it will refresh. And then you can get some of these back again. Not all of them, but most of them. These will refresh, and you'll be able to get the rest of your points and then some. But it's just irritating. I wish they'd just let us have it all in one go instead. Make that adjustment. And also, with the win the 3 matches, win the 8 matches, you have to win matches to get these credits. It should just be play the game. It just should be participate in 3 matches, win, or participate in 8 matches. That's it. That's what I'd like to see changed as far as this goes in general. But anyway, there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you hung in there the entire time, I understand. Some people just want to dip. I did show the build in the middle. If you didn't catch that, you need to run it back. I'm saying this now at the end of the video, just to see those of you that actually paid attention or were curious. And I did that on purpose. So, haha. Anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world. And far as always, take care of yourselves as best you can. One day at a time. That's all you can do. And, and if you haven't seen it, if you hung in there still at the very end, if you have not seen it, I was on Indez. They did an Immortal cast, Diablo Immortal podcast, so to speak. It was very, very impromptu. It was very, very much like on the spot ask and like, hey, you want to do this? Oh, hey, how about today? It's like, sure. So if you want, go ahead and check out their channel. It's Indez, INDEZ. And yeah, it was a good time. We just talked a little bit of Immortal. We talked about a little bit of everything. We kind of branched off, and it was a good time though. It was a good time. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check that out. It's on their channel. I wasn't able to set anything up because, like I said, it was very, very much impromptu and like out of the blue. So I was like, hey, sure. But anyway, until next time, see ya.